attend another function. He indicated that he will attempt to come back, and as soon as he has concluded that business. We want to move on to presentations, and as I said, we have made some adjustments. We have to make some adjustments. So I want to call on Mr. Madre, Deputy PS, Ministry of Public Admin, to lead us off. And this is designed to be an interactive session, so let us communicate and share as much as we can. Thank you.
So you'd like to start from here or over there?
We could give you a mic and you can present from there.
Someone? Can someone? Yeah, yes. Chris, okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm Richard, Deputy PS, Ministry of Public Administration. Next slide. I was asked to two topic areas: the renewal and modernization of a citizen-centric public service. To do this, we have a number of strategic priorities. I've bolded items 2 to 4, which I think are the most relevant ones to the Police Service Commission and the Service Commissions Department. The key services of our core divisions: Public Service Transformation Division supports the public service through the coordination of government-wide and ministerial transformation projects, and also the governing legislation for the public service that would include things like the Civil Service Act and so on. Our strategic human resource management function, Public Service Academy, and the Government Human Resource Service Company addresses issues of civil service HR transformation and policies related to resource management across the full spectrum. Of course, successful nations are able to leverage the human capital of their countries, and we need to be able to do the same. Public service training and development and recruitment services through the GHRS are provided by those agencies. Our Public Management Consulting Division provides consultancy services on organizational structure, design, and related systems, and they are also responsible for position management. Our Scholarships Division administers scholarships offered through government and also places scholars and assists in their development of them post-placement. So to address the first issue as to whether there's any overlap or ambiguity, I think that the answer to that question is no. I don't see any overlap really. But I think that there are areas in which we can support, contribute to the work of the Police Service Commission and, of course, the Service Commission's department. So we already engaged in discussions with the Police Service Commission to help to facilitate citizen feedback surveys. Currently, we use the Media Opinion Research International, which we have been using for many years to conduct the opinion leaders surveys of the public service and employee surveys of employees within the public service. So we are trying to extend that now to surveys that will assist the Commission to get the information that it needs. Successful organizations need to be able to measure and need to be able to have information on which to make good decisions. So I think that this is going to be a very big area of cooperation in the future. We can assist in the development of service charters and the review of business processes. I'm not sure in what way that can be applied, but of course it's being thrown out to you. The typical service that is provided is with respect to the mainstream civil service agencies, ministries, and of course agencies such as the Personnel Department or the Service Commissions Department. And we are currently working through PMCD with the Service Commissions Department for a new organizational structure that may better enhance the support given to the Commission. Change management, there is a small team still with us that has been trained in what is called the ADCAR model of change management. Again, if you're introducing new processes within the police service generally, there may be a need for that kind of support from the Ministry of Public Admin. Next slide. With respect to the critical issues of human resource management, whether it is in the civil service, the police service, the teaching service, these issues apply across the board. We must address, and we are trying to address, the issues of insufficient human resource management capacity. That means both in terms of the skill set within organizations to do the work that has to be done, but also within the HRM function itself. We need to develop a more robust human resource management function if we are going to truly develop and leverage on the talent of our people. We need to address the human resource policies and procedures, inappropriate organizational structures, outdated legal framework, insufficient senior management capability, inappropriate compensation policies. This is important because our consultants have pointed out that the HRM function renewal and modernization is a prerequisite for transformation. If we are trying to modernize our public service, including the police service, the teaching service, we need to address this area. With respect to strategic HRM, Professor Dursaran pointed out that we do need each other for success. The central HRM agencies are independent, but we are interdependent. We really can't do without one another. So the Minister of Public Administration will be proposing to establish a strategic HRM coordinating committee to be chaired by her, which will hopefully increase the collaboration across the central agencies. It will hopefully increase our institutional intelligence. That is, the ability to collaborate and address the key priorities that are common to all agencies and on which we depend on each other if we are to resolve them. The ministry can also engage experts to support the reform effort. We will be developing a roadmap for HRM renewal and modernization and trying to sequence those projects in a logical and appropriate way. One of the other ways that we can contribute to I would say probably the secretariat of that is supporting the Police Service Commission that exists within the Service Commissions Department is through the services provided by the Government Human Resource Services Company. They have tools such as tools that facilitate electronic applications, tests that can be administered using technology. They can help you to design structured competency-based interviews. They can help with the shortlisting of applicants for the contract positions that are in the Secretariat. They can provide pools of persons that can serve on panels. They provide psychometric and other assessment center tests. And there's a database of available human resources. Some of the training programs that will be offered by the PSC next year that may be appropriate to the team that will be developed in the Secretariat will include monitoring and evaluation. Areas such as public procurement, project management, developing terms of reference and requests for proposals, etc. So as you build that team, I think that there's going to be a need for some of that training and development to take place. If you can't do some of those latter things, you can't get money. And therefore, you may want to consider that. The Public Service Academy will also work with you to develop specialized programs depending on your needs. I think I mentioned earlier that the Public Management Consulting Division is already engaged in discussions with the Service Commissions Department in an attempt to review the current organizational arrangements for the Secretariat that supports the Commission. The PMCD as well as the Transformation Division can assist with the mapping and redesign of processes. There is currently a collaborative project along with the Service Commissions Department. And again, here's where we are using our resources each of our agencies don't have all of the relevant resources, and we are really appreciative of that collaborative support from the Service Commissions Department in our attempt to get position management functioning better in the public service. As it stands right now, we in fact cannot correctly identify where all positions are in the public service. This project, which will use the PeopleSoft application, which has been in existence for 10 years, is an effort to correctly identify where every single position is and ensure that the unique identifier is applied. Our Scholarships and Advanced Training Division can work with you to identify need areas and seek government's approval for the inclusion in the development program of scholarship offerings over 2012 and beyond. We also, we also have the Associate Professional Program, which I'm not sure that you're familiar with. This is where we bring scholars back into our system and we place them in relevant agencies depending on their skill set. So again, if you're looking for young graduates who arguably are the cream of the crop of our country, we may be able to place some of them in the Service Commissions Department to assist with the needs of the Commission. And I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Matre. I'd ask that we hold our comments till we have the 3 presentations. So I'm hoping that, I didn't say this before, I'm hoping taking some notes so that we could have more fruitful discussions. I'd like to ask Mr. Samraj, your name correct, sir? Mr. Samraj Harry Paul, just give us whatever presentation he may have.
Good morning, all. Hello? Good morning.
Mr. Harry Paul, just before you start, Mr. Madre, where is it possible for us to get a copy of the present? Thank you. What do you say? Sorry.
Good morning, all. Perhaps I'll just say Professor David Saran, Chairman, Police Service Commission. Perhaps you would forgive me if I say all of the protocols observed. First, I'd like to apologize for the absence of the Honorable Attorney General. He is, of course, engaged at the moment in Cabinet, so he was unfortunately absent. And he asked me to apologize for his absence. The Law Reform Commission, of course, is quite pleased to be here this morning, and we thank the Police Service Commission for the invitation. The Commission, of course, is a statutory body, the mandate of which is essentially to keep under review all the laws of Trinidad and Tobago under constant review and reform. And of course, to achieve this mandate, the Commission is made up of 2 streams of legal expertise, drafting and research officers. In fact, I have with me here Ms. Marissa Jogi, a legal research officer too. Over the years, the Commission has, of course, undertaken a number of reform projects. And in the police service reform of which, well, eventually culminated in early 2006, which had, of course, a legislative background of more than 8 years, I believe, from August of 1998. In that process, the Commission played an integral role in both the policy formulation and, of course, eventually the drafting. So the Commission is indeed quite happy and, of course, grateful for the opportunity to be part of this stakeholders roundtable discussion in dealing particularly with the issues that are both legislative and administrative, which affects the operation and governance of the police service, and by extension, of course, the Police Service Commission. So we have come with the hope and intent to join with this seminar or stakeholders meeting to be part of this preliminary meeting to identify and help identify perhaps some of those problems and challenges governing the Police Service Commission and the service. we are here like every other stakeholders to listen and to participate directly with the hope that in the discussion we would be able to formulate some of the issues and get some headway in relation to bringing some solution to these problems, at least from a legislative perspective. I've noted that the issue has been zeroing in on basically overlaps and ambiguities in relation to the governance of the police service. And those have been mentioned by Professor and my colleague on my right, Richard. I bear that in mind because I just want to just say in general, no legislation is perfect. The process had been undertaken over a number of years from, as I said, early August of 1998 until its passage in early 2006. There was a police reform task force headed by our renowned Sellers Clark, and there were a number of distinguished members to that committee. The process had taken itself over a number of years with consultation, both with the Police Service Commission, the Police Service Association, the CPO, the executive of the police service, and a number of other persons. In fact, there were also public consultation in the process. I say all of that because even with the best of consultation, no legislation is perfect. And 3 or 4 years down the line now, the opportunity has presented itself for a review of that package. And that is typical sometimes of legislation where there's need for reviewing the legislation after a number of years of its operation. So, in closing, I'd like to say we at the Commission, and on by extension, the Attorney General's Office, recognize that and appreciate the invitation to be part of this discussion and review